Mail your kids. Here's another interesting fact for you. The story of the US Postal Service begins long before the United States was a nation. In 1639, the first semblance of an organized postal system in the American colonies appeared when the General Court of Massachusetts designated Richard Fairbank's Tavern in Boston as the official drop-off point for mail traveling to or from overseas. However, it wasn't until July 26, 1775, that the postal system as we know it began to take shape. On that date, the Second Continental Congress established the Constitutional Post and appointed Benjamin Franklin as its first Postmaster General. Franklin, already experienced in colonial postal matters, laid the groundwork for an efficient and reliable service, standardizing routes and rates to connect the fledgling colonies. After the American Revolution, the Postal Service was enshrined in the U.S. Constitution, with Congress granted the power to establish post offices and post roads. In 1792, the Postal Service Act formalized the system, creating the United States Post Office Department. This network expanded rapidly as the nation grew, with post riders, stagecoaches, and later railroads carrying mail across vast distances. By the 19th century, the post office became a lifeline for a sprawling country, delivering letters, newspapers, and goods while facilitating westward expansion through innovations like the Pony Express in 1860. A bonus fact about the Pony Express is that its heroic lure and tales lasted much longer than the Express itself. The Pony Express only lasted 18 months. It was quickly replaced by the telegraph. The 20th century brought transformative changes. In 1913, parcel post service began, allowing Americans to ship packages affordably. The introduction of airmail in 1918 revolutionized delivery speed, and by mid-century, the post office was a cornerstone of American life. However, financial struggles and inefficiencies led to a major overhaul in 1971, when the Post Office Department was reorganized into the United States Postal Service, a semi-independent federal agency tasked with operating like a business while fulfilling a universal service mandate. Today, the USPS delivers over 142 billion pieces of mail annually, navigating challenges like digital competition and funding debates, while remaining a vital thread in the nation's fabric. And now, the best of the story. One of the most peculiar chapters in USPS history involves the brief, bizarre practice of mailing children. Yes, you've read that correctly. Children were once sent through the mail. This odd phenomenon emerged shortly after the introduction of parcel post service on January 1, 1913. Before parcel post, shipping goods was expensive and often handled by private companies. The new service allowed packages up to £11 to be mailed at affordable rates, sparking creative and sometimes questionable uses of the system. Almost immediately, Americans tested the limits. On January 27, 1913, just weeks after parcel post began, a couple in Ohio mailed their infant son to his grandmother's house about a mile away in Batavia. The baby, weighing under the £11 limit, was entrusted to a rural letter carrier with a few cents postage attached. The child arrived safely, marking what's believed to be the first instance of a mailed human. Over the next few years, similar incidents popped up across rural communities, particularly where train or postal routes were more convenient than personal travel. For example, in 1914, a 4-year-old girl named Charlotte May Piersdorf was mailed from Grangeville, Idaho, to her grandparents in Lewiston, Idaho, a distance of 73 miles. Her parents affixed 53 cents in stamps to her coat, and she rode in the mail car of a train, supervised by postal workers. She arrived unharmed, and the story later inspired a children's book, Mailing May. Other documented cases include a 6-year-old mailed from Florida to Virginia in 1915, and a few scattered instances in states like Indiana and Kentucky. These events were rare and mostly confined to rural areas where families trusted their local postal carriers, often neighbors or relatives, to handle such unconventional parcels. The practice wasn't widespread, but it caught enough attention that the Post Office Department stepped in. In 1914, Postmaster General Albert S. Burleson issued a clarification. The parcel post regulations did not intend for humans to be mailed. By 1920, the rules were tightened, officially banning the shipment of live people, And just for the record, don't send kids through the mail. This quirky footnote in USPS history reflects both the ingenuity and eccentricity of early 20th century Americans, as well as the Postal Service's role as a flexible, trusted institution in an era before modern transportation. It's a tale that's equal parts charming and bewildering, and thankfully no longer an option at your local post office. And now you know the rest of the story. Hello, Ahmad, Aisha, Alan, Alexandra, Andres, and Alicia. Please take a moment to like and subscribe. It'll help our little channel grow. If you like and subscribe, we can give you a shout out too.